What is the best piece of writing advice I've been given? I wonder what it is. When would I say I can call myself a writer? I guess, there's a number of ways of categorizing that, aren't there? There's a feeling that you're a writer, and that's really important. There's a moment when you write your first thing that you show someone else, that's really important. And for me, I guess, when you get an agent or you get some money, and that's when you feel like you're a professional writer. So I was keen on writing from young. Me and Sam Bain wrote the first thing together that we sent off anywhere. And and those first few meetings felt very, very important to get invited inside places that had some power. Yeah, in terms of comedy versus drama in my work, I don't make myself decide between them. You know, I have a tone which I'm comfortable writing. I've written on sitcoms and I've written pretty much on dramas, but normally it's somewhere in the middle. And it's not your responsibility as a writer to tell the audience how they should respond. You just got to write interesting stuff, and that can be dramatically interesting, and it can be comedically amusing, and it can be a mixture of the two. So it's not really worth spending too much time thinking about. I guess people will tell you lots of versions of be true to yourself, keep it real, people want your voice, and it is really true, even though it sounds kind of cheesy or glib or easy, but you know things and have a perspective on the world that you might not even know that you have, that if you want to be a writer is part of the reason you want to be a writer. And if you can try and winkle those out of yourself, you might be getting close to the place where people will be interested in what you've got to say. Yeah, thinking about the US, where I've worked a bit with Succession, in the UK, where most of my career has been. There is a little bit of a less rigid division between comedy and drama, which I think is a good thing. Lots of my material lives in a space bit in between them. America has more resources, so we're able to do Succession at a bigger scale, more cars, more vehicles, bigger spaces, bigger cast, bigger writing room. So those resources are available. But I know that you can make great stuff with less resources too. My Desert Island box set. I almost never rewatch things. But the three that come to mind right now, and because I never rewatch, it's quite fun because I think I probably only watched all of these series once. I'd say 6 Feet Under, The Sopranos, and I May Destroy You. I think that all of those you could live with for quite a while and inside. So most of my career I've spent writing in a partnership with Sam Bain, and yeah, you get a whole number of things from working in a partnership. It's like having a mini writing room every day. You have someone to bounce your ideas off, you have someone to work on plot with, you have someone, which is very important in the early days of a career, maybe all early and late days actually, is you have someone to commiserate with when things go awry, which happens a lot in writing, and all other creative areas. And you have someone to share the little triumphs that you hopefully experience and the difficulties. So it's not for every writer. You shouldn't force yourself into it. But if you find someone that it's fun to work with, give it a go and see if it cracks some things open that are difficult to get to otherwise. Well, I guess I find it hard to choose between Peep Show, which was me and Sam working together, and Succession, which was I wrote the pilot on my own. Those are the two big things, and I guess one I'm allowed to because one of them was just me and one was me and Sam, a team. That it's tough, that there are a lot of knockbacks, that development is long, but that it can be an extraordinarily rewarding place where you'll make a lot of good friends, and the industry can be quite sustaining as well as being quite terrifying, difficult to navigate. So perseverance, I guess. Careers, lives long, and if you can stick at it, you might find a way through. Well, it's a difficult question that writers always hate being asked, probably because it's such a useful one to know the answer to. But the only thing I would say on that is research is great. I get my ideas from lots of places, but you shouldn't be afraid of stealing your ideas, the spark from newspaper articles, magazines, books, research, because you're going to make it your own when you end up writing it. So don't be afraid to take a shape of a story which might be familiar or have some other place in the culture before you get to it. What makes a great character? I guess I'd be reduced to saying that they're interesting. And I guess there's many, many different ways of being interesting. A good way to think about it is the people who are in your own life who are interesting. I don't think they have to be necessarily straightforwardly likable. I guess they have to feel, you have to feel that they're not so straightforward that there's nothing to find out, but they have to feel complete in that if there is a mystery to them or a question about them, that there is an answer to that question that's eventually soluble, that they're not just a collection of quirks or oddities, that the creator knows this person and it's worth you getting to know them too. I guess in a lot of drama, you're seeking to do two things at once, to make things surprising and feel completely natural. And so if you have a character who does things that you didn't necessarily expect, but when you see them do them, entirely fit with your conception of the character, that's quite a sweet spot to be in. So that's very enjoyable.